My name's Alan Suber from Tampa, Florida. I played my high school football at Tampa Catholic High School, played college at Bethune-Cookman University. I played in the National Football League with the Jaguars, Bucks, and Texans. Had the opportunity to coach at Bethune-Cookman for 8 years, Alabama State for 2, University of Massachusetts for 2, and now I've taken the head football job at Sunlake High School. This summer, we had a chance to implement our off-season workouts, and thus far, it's been a success. Had a chance to change a lot of these guys' bodies, put weight on. We have a nutrition program where we're able to feed these guys after practice to give them an extra meal to replenish. Running wise, and I think we're in the best condition that we've been. Obviously, it's about that time. It's July, but everything we're doing as far as our off-season workouts is all based on college workouts. Have a really good strength and condition coach, and Chris Padawani, who's doing an internship with USF right now, and he's implemented everything that they're doing in their strength program with our young men. So it's going well. The biggest keys to turn around Sunlake High School football program, first and foremost, is surrounding myself with good people. And then in the same event, surrounding the young men in this program and young women with good people as well. Then it's obviously steering the vision of the program, making sure everybody's on board with the vision, putting in the time and the effort that it takes to see that vision through to the end, to the finish. So those are the most important parts, and we're working on those daily.
I feel bad for him, man.
This off-season's been action-packed for us as a football program. We're coming off of just implementing the study halls to take care of our academics. The team GPA finished as a 3.14, so really excited about that. We brought back a former valedictorian for Sunlake High School, Stephen Long. He volunteered his time to give us opportunity to learn for our upcoming juniors and seniors to learn more about test taking with the SAT, ACT, and he'll be also doing tutoring twice a week during the season next year for our students that need help in math, English, and sciences. Then we've also had opportunity to get involved in the community with 3 or 4 fundraisers. We'll have a back to school dance. We're gonna do a fun water day. So it's just been filled with a bunch of stuff to build the team camaraderie, get us closer together. And then we had an opportunity to compete in 2 7-on-7s as well. So everything's trending in the right direction, building the program the right way, and looking forward to this season. When I took this job, I was taking over a program that went 2-8 last year, had 15 season-ending injuries. So for us, the most important thing, obviously, outside of putting together a staff that could really help these young men learn the fundamentals of the game, was putting together a sound off-season strength and condition program to get these guys' bodies right to be ready for battle in the fall. We expect to win every game that we line up to play. We'll prepare that way, and I look forward to seeing these young men compete and getting the fruits of their labor. They put in a lot of work this off-season. A former first-round draft pick, played his college football at Boston College, played 10 years in the National Football League, and played at an extremely high level. All right, he's got lots of lessons and experiences to share with you today, kind of about his journey, how he worked and triumphed through challenges, and just the opportunity that you have to play the game of football at this high school level, where there still aren't a whole bunch of pressures on you that kind of sometimes create an element of a business-like approach to the game. He's had a chance to do it at every single level, and he did it at an all-pro level for quite a time while he was in the National Football League. For the Bucks fans, he played here with the Bucks for what, 6 years?
Yes, sir.
6 years. The Vikings as well, and then when he finished that, he did some coaching with USF with the strength and conditioning program. Then he worked with the defensive line with the Tampa Bay Storm as well. So obviously his life is invested in the game of football. I'm sure he's earned a lot and experience and the opportunity to meet people and be places through the game of football. You have those same opportunities. But without further delay, Chris Hovan.
And that smell is, a lot of parents don't like it. Coaches get used to it, but it's nostalgia for me. It really is. This is the smell I grew up in every day of my life. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. Came from a pretty hard-working family. My dad was a truck driver. Didn't really see him a lot. He was hauling freight across the country to provide for us back home. My mom was a secretary at a Catholic school, so luckily we got free education for her being able to work in the school system. Came from real humble beginnings, guys. Grew up in the inner city of Cleveland. Didn't have a lot. Probably not as much as you guys who are sitting in these seats right now. Had a paper route at 4 years old when they used to have paper routes. Now everything's digital, so I'm speaking really old right now. So had a paper route in 4th grade. I carried that all the way throughout high school. Had to pay for everything. Had to pay for my clothes. Had to pay sometimes for food. Had to pay for my car, insurance, gas. Those were humble beginnings, guys, but those are great lessons that were taught to me at a young age. Football's always been a passion for me. It's who I am. It's who I am even to this day right now. I might not be coaching, which I eventually want to get back into. But right now, this man you see right here is because of football. I've had great mentors, great leaders in my life to put me on the path that Coach Sue's putting me on right now. Right now, for you guys coming out right now, this is what a team's born. I'm a big proponent of hard work, guys. Hard work got me to where I was supposed to get at in my life. Prototypically, I was never the biggest defensive lineman in the NFL. I wasn't supposed to. Usually you see these guys 6'5", 6'6", 330, and they're very talented individuals. So I had to find a different way of how I was gonna make it to where I wanted to achieve my dreams. And the two things that got me to where I was at, where I'm at today, was hard work and being humble. Those are the two greatest factors. Those are the two things that I try to live my life every day. Because without those two things, once the ego sets in and the better than I am, the better less you are. So it was always hard work and being humble. What I like about this right now is the hard work. The smell I smell from you guys, the eyes on me right now, because when the eyes are on me, that means you guys are paying attention, you want to learn something today. But right now, what you guys got going on right now is you're out there sweating. And that heat right now, as much as you do not like it, this is your best friend right now. Because when I used to train for the Buccaneers, and I remember I signed my first contract with the Buccaneers. We had to go to Orlando, and that's in the middle of the state. And there's no getting away from the heat. Any time of the day, there's no getting away from the heat. We used to go out there and you used to see guys watering their pads down because they knew what time it was. But this is your best friend, because the first game I played at was during that season was in the Metrodome in Minneapolis. I could do jump jacks all day. It was because I was trained in this weather and what you guys are doing right now. And I applaud you guys for that. And I applaud you guys for making the commitment right now, not only to yourselves, but to each other and this coaching staff that's giving their time right now to make you better individuals. So I have to applaud you guys for that. So, yes, throughout my career, I had to work for a lot of things. One of the things that people don't know is I didn't start till my senior year in high school. I went to St. Ignatius in Cleveland, and St. Ignatius has been one of the better powerhouses in high school football for the past 30 years. We talk about having to grow up, right? Having to be humble. I didn't want those things early in my career. I wanted everything. I wanted to be a starter. I wanted this. I wanted that. But it wasn't until my strength coach really sat me down and humbled me and put me on the path that I needed to go through to get to where I wanted to be as a football player and as a young man at the time. So what I did, I had to wait my turn, but that was okay. I went in my senior year and I set the state record for sacks for 30. People didn't know who I was, but I made sure that off season before, I made sure that weight room was my best friend. When all my other friends were going out, this is when Sega first came out, and it was even before John Madden. It was Bill Walsh. That's how old I am. My friends would play video games. That's cool. What are you doing, Chris? Well, I'm gonna do some lawn work at home, right? No, I'm actually gonna lift in my basement for an hour and a half. Friends are going on a Friday night. Hey man, there's this big party. We're all going to the movies. Have my license. Guess what, guys? I will meet you guys there in about an hour and a half. What are you doing? Well, I'm gonna sit at home and get some stuff tied up. What was I doing? I was lifting weights. And that's all I did, because I had made a commitment to myself and I had made a commitment to my teammates that what I was gonna put out there was gonna be the best me. I was tired of watching other people go out there and play this game that I love so much and play at a high level. There was a little bit of jealousness inside of me, a little bit of jealousy, all right? But at the same time, I checked that jealousy and I worked and I worked and I worked. And I'm gonna tell you right now, standing here today at 44 years old, it does pay off if you put the work in. But you have to have also that humble attitude. And when I mean that humble attitude too, I mean it to listening to your coaches. These guys have the best intentions for you. Whether you like to hear it or not, they are always gonna tell you the truth. And those are the type of gentlemen or ladies in the back who are your support system as well. They will tell you the truth. And you know it's the truth when you sweat, when it starts to sting, when you get a little bit hot inside, you might even cry. But to hear that truth and to have this support system amongst all these individuals here pushing you to be your best every day, that's priceless, guys. That is absolutely priceless. And to finish, I want to talk about 3 things. I want to talk about grades, I want to talk about character, and I want to talk about faith. Obviously, I want to talk about grades. This is a luxury right here. This game right here is a luxury. This is not allowed. This is an opportunity for you to play this game. First and foremost comes your grades, guys. I've been in the NFL, played in college, I've worked professionally, I've worked in the collegiate system. Your grades are a reflection of who you are. And I'm not saying, and I understand that people learn on different levels, and I understand that, and not everybody's gonna get A's. I had to struggle to get B's and C's because I learned a different way. But the amount of effort and the amount of willingness to ask for help when you need it says volumes about an individual. I grew up for so long thinking to myself, I got this, I can do this, I can push myself. When I had all these avenues out here of people willing to help me, do not ever be afraid to ask for help. All right, guys? These people, these individuals that are with you want to help you. Me being here right now means more to me than anything because I'm able to come here and speak to you, speak to hungry young individuals who want it as bad as I do. This does more for me throughout the rest of my day than anything will, guys. And I greatly appreciate it. All right, second, I want to talk about character. Character is what makes an individual. White, black, female, male, any type, anybody. Your character makes you. Your integrity makes you. Gentlemen, 2 years ago, I got arrested for a DUI. All right, and I am not proud of that. And that's something that I have to live with for the rest of my life. But I can tell you that, since that 2 years ago, I have not had a drink. And I've completely changed my life. And I want you guys to know that everything you go out there and you do, I was a first-round draft pick, I was an All-American. I work with every charity in Minnesota area, every charity in Tampa area. All right, I was All-Pro. I was looked upon as a leader, but I made a mistake, guys. And that was one of the biggest regrets that I ever had in my life. I made a mistake. But at the same token, I'm able to stand up here and talk to you guys about it. And that makes me more proud to be able to sit here because, you know, I'm part of a Bible study right now. I have a gentleman who's 20 years in recovery. And he says, Chris, you're very bold about this. You're very bold about talking about your mistakes. I said, A, I don't have a choice because you can put my name in and anybody can look me up. And B, I stand here today and you're gonna hear this from a lot of leaders in your life because I don't want you to make the same mistake I made. If I can walk away from here with that type of internal belief that I was able to speak to you guys about this, do not make the same mistake I did, guys. I do regret it, but I'm sitting here proud of the man of who I am today, though. And third, let's talk about faith. And that's the most important thing. Faith in a higher power. And I'm not here to say believe in this or believe in that, but to have that spiritual faith to knowing what's the most important thing in this world. All right? He always listens to you, no matter what. He will always listen to you. You might not get the answer you always want immediately, but that's not the path that he's choosing right now. All right? So I want to thank every individual for having me here today. I would like to thank the ladies in the back, all the coaches, and it was an unbelievable opportunity and pleasure to speak to you, gentlemen. Thank you.
The same. Guys who are successful in football have all went about it the same way. They all have similar thought processes on how to get to it. They have similar thought processes that help them get through it. And then they all have the same. I could feel the energy from him sitting there, just him wanting to explode and kind of give you his experience in playing the game and what it's done for him. Like there's guys in the room who felt it. There's guys in the room who see it. And when you're around enough of those guys, that's why you see coaches like to be around good players, because they're usually doing the right things in other areas of their life. It's just kind of, they go hand in hand. So kind of take heed to what he told you. You know, he did it at the highest level, lowest level. He told you, for guys here who aren't playing right now, he didn't start till senior in high school. Then he made up his mind of what he wanted to achieve. So you don't have to settle with your current situation. It's only that way if you allow it to be. You can dictate. You're actor number one in your movie. You dictate everything. But if you put yourself in scenarios that allow other people to dictate for you, then it's kind of a theme. It's going to go throughout your whole life with everything that you do. But as you heard from him, you heard from my very first coach, they talk about the process, right? So they all talk about the process. What happened if Chris Hovan would have decided going into his senior year, I ain't started for 3 years, what am I going to do? Then what happened if he decided when he got to Boston College he wasn't going to put in the work? Then signs with the Bucks, undersized, not as talented. That's his words. But what did he do? He outworked people. It's making a decision of what you're gonna do yourself. Don't think that he didn't sit here and separate his upbringing and yours for a reason. He wanted you to know he got it the long way. Or some people say out the mud. That he wasn't handed anything. He wasn't a 4-year starter. He wanted you to know that. Because there's guys in here who are starters who have achieved a lot, and there's guys in here who haven't played a snap, haven't achieved anything. He wanted you to be able to relate to his story no matter what. Guys that live in a 4-car garage house, or guys that gotta work because you gotta pay some bills in the house, or you gotta just keep your cell phone on. So it's happening everywhere, man. The common denominator is you got to make a decision on what you want to do. He spoke about team, the importance of team, doing it together. I'm telling y'all, the spirit of team conquers everything. I'll say it again, the third time I said it this summer. Best football team I've ever been on in my life. The summer before, that fall, the head coach kicked off 19 football players. 12 were starters. 12. He called me and 2 other captains in the room and asked us, what you think? I just got to do it. I just got to do it. These guys aren't team guys. They're all for themselves. We went 7-4 last year on a team that had more talent than anybody in our conference. I got to kick them off, and I just want y'all to be with me. And you know, we were like, all 12? 12 starters, coach? Kicked those guys off, 11-2. First conference championship in 25 years the next season. After that, 9-4. Both of those teams were playoff teams. 2 guys drafted, 6 went to the NFL and played at least 2 years. That's after kicking off 12 starters, because what we did together as a team magnified everybody. Because we played well together as a team, we won games. We won games. NFL teams wanted to come and see what was going on. It'll be no different with colleges. They came and saw. We had one guy that was a draft pick that nobody knew about, named Rasheem Mathis, still has the college interception record for every level. Had 16 in one season. I was on the sideline watching that shit. He took 7 back for touchdowns. Watching that. Had a chance to watch that. You know what that's like? 7 interceptions for returns. One was like 103. Another one, if you look on my Twitter, everybody talks about the Alabama-Auburn kick return, whatever they call it. Yeah, the first guy to do that shit was Rasheem Mathis in the Classic in front of 76,000. Caught a missed field goal up under the goalpost, took it 107. House call. He ended up being a 2nd-round draft pick. A year later, they came back to see the safety that's playing next to him. 2nd-round draft pick. Guys, you're a Packers fan, right, Austin? You're not a Packers fan?
No, I am.
Yeah. You know what Nick Collins is? Yeah, all-pro safety for the Packers. Broke his neck. That's how he stopped playing football. Was the MVP of the Super Bowl y'all won. The latest one. Played at Bethune-Cookman. 2nd-round draft pick from a small town outside of Gainesville. It's all in a tiny place that kicked 12 starters off and put team in front. And that team created a bunch of good football players, gave them the opportunity to flourish and win games. Because understand this, NFL, college, semi-pro, high school, everybody likes winners. Nobody wants to be around losers. It's just a fact. So continue to do the right things, you are. And we're growing every day of getting past these things that have kind of lingered on and not been successful for you guys in the past. We're growing past all those things. Y'all see it, y'all hear it. That's why I try to point it out when it happens. So just continue to put in the work and come together as a team. Because we'll win as a team and we'll lose as a team. That's the only way it'll happen. And when winning begins to happen, everything else. So y'all see how the love or lack thereof that y'all got throughout the spring? Just keep the same energy when we get that first win and everything changes. Don't change up. Keep the same energy. Hard work, just like Chris Hovan just talked about. If there's one thing you take from what he said today is that he worked to earn everything he got. Everything he got. From having to have a damn paper route to putting in extra work when no one else was in his garage to even putting in the hard work to maintain and stay in the NFL. And then the ability to say, what did we talk about yesterday? Like, not being afraid of failure. If you ain't failed, you ain't tried anything. You haven't put yourself in a tough situation. And I'm gonna finish with this. There's a basketball coach. I think she's the basketball coach at Notre Dame. Kara Lawson, I want to say. She put a tweet out that she was talking to her team about today, and she was talking about the easy things in life and how they exist, but it's really not anything you want. The people who took the easy route in life, she goes on to say, you see them every day. Not all, but some, they're waiting at the bus stop because that's the easy route to get picked up. There's some that aren't putting in the work and the effort to do the schoolwork. All those different things, but if you take the easy route, like there's young men in this program that have a little bit of trouble with dealing with normal daily activities. They bring a lot of stress to you. You don't know how to navigate them. It's hard on you. But that's life. Learn to conquer these challenges you get every day in practice. Heat. Being yelled at. Being given instruction and having expectations. Learn to handle those things. And then when you do, guess what we're going to do as coaches? We're going to raise the level. And we're going to create another challenge. There's no guy on this team that'll probably get it more than the quarterbacks. Because on Friday night, they got to be calm in chaos.